has all the answers, then you have one shot at the puzzle. So we prepare for as many potential acts of terrorism as we can.
The robot's claw can pick up an egg without cracking it. The mechanical hand carefully probes the bag's contents. All clear. The bag, random electronics carelessly left behind. One of hundreds of suspicious package calls the FBI will respond to this year.
Everything now is considered terrorism first until it is proven not to be. We all look at everything a little differently. We look at a suspicious car or a suspicious bag, and before you may have walked past it, now the cost of not calling that in is catastrophic. So we don't mind going out and doing 5 packages a day like we're doing. It keeps the team sharp. It keeps us focused on the mission.
For the Washington FBI, the mission of the year is now just 2 months away.
Right now we're inside of the Washington Field Office weapons vault. This is where we store all of our agent-issued weapons. This is one of our 10mm MP5s. This here is a Glock 22. This is the gun that the agents go to the grocery store with that they wear to work. But you're not going to walk into the grocery store carrying a Remington Model 870 shotgun. The Remington has a kill ratio of 98%. So we're not shooting to wound, we're shooting to disable the threat.
Over the last decade, 45 terror plots against Americans have been exposed and foiled. Many attacks have targeted Washington. It's a cold morning in Quantico, Virginia. The FBI sniper team trains for their biggest security mission of the year. The State of the Union is fast approaching.
Take that half step back, because you got nowhere to go but straight anyway, because you got a corner-fed room with a wall.
Washington's senior SWAT team leader drills his troops on how to breach and clear.
This guy that's down on a knee does not make any movement up without notifying the other guy that he's going to do so.
The SWAT team weapons instructor reviews combat stance and body language.
Body contact is essential here. If this guy is going to come up without notifying, John can feel it as he's starting to come up, or get out of the way for him to come up if something happens in there that they need to back up off for safety. This guy.
Some of the Bureau's top marksmen train with weapons and ammo specially made for CQC, close quarters combat. Situations that demand rapid assault and precise application of lethal force. As days count down to the State of the Union, the FBI ramps up its training.
You fight how you train. And we train all the time. Our job is to make sure that we prevent and stop the next terrorist attack anywhere in the United States. And we come together as a team to confront the threat, wherever it is and whatever it is.
I'm not sure that there's a city anywhere that does as many high-level special events as we do. We have to be vigilant to make sure that nothing happens. And if it does happen, then we're here to respond to it.
To make Washington more secure than ever, FBI and Secret Service agents team up. They scope out angles to cover the presidential motorcade and the finish line, the U.S. Capitol. The Commander-in-Chief's annual address takes place 4 weeks from today.
Like if he's coming out the center side, it opens up a little bit further down with the big flag on it.
The exact route from the White House to the Capitol building is classified and can change in a heartbeat.
You see one route that has like the arches, the red.
Even the FBI team won't get word from the Secret Service of the motorcade path until minutes before.
That's a great shot of Constitution, so we can see the motorcades as they're approaching. It's all dependent on what routes Secret Service takes.
The Secret Service will route the motorcade along one of these three paths. Weeks of coordination go into making these 2 miles an uneventful trip. Defending the Capitol and the President are only part of the challenge. The FBI must safeguard the entire city. Right now, the city is heating up.
On Tuesday, we had a possible hand grenade found at a church. And while we were addressing that threat, we had a suspicious package in downtown D.C. We pushed another team to that. And then we got another suspicious package that was further up north in D.C.
Explosions at 2 different state government offices. One package was reported to have exploded at the Maryland Department of Transportation in Canada.
The Department of Homeland Security says it is aware of the situation and is ready to take any action necessary.
3 suspicious packages targeting 3 federal facilities in 48 hours. The pattern spells danger for the State of the Union. Barely 2 weeks away.
That's in coordination with all the
Chris Combs drills down on the situation.
As far as the threat assessment, go through the op order for everybody, especially with the recent threats. We've doubled our resources, so we have dedicated resources to Capitol Hill and the State of the Union directly. And we're going to have a number of investigative units out on the street in case we have an event either related to the State of the Union or elsewhere in the city.
Those are going to require an action.
Local police and national agencies all step up for the State of the Union.
We'll have a full SWAT team acting as a quick response force in case we have a crisis event that occurs during the State of the Union. Sir, I just got an alert that there is a suspicious package up at the Department of facility in Northeast. The package is the size of a laptop. There's some wires and a strange item that was on top.
Suddenly, another threat. The FBI goes on high alert.
您有鼻炎、哮喘、皮。
A bomb scare 2 weeks before the State of the Union. The threat profile matches a string of parcel bombs. 3 attacks in the last 48 hours. The last device, addressed to a cabinet officer, burst into fire yesterday on the very same street.
The bomb technicians are down there examining the package physically right now to try and determine what is in it, if there's anything hazardous, if there's anything explosive in it or not, and then they'll let us know what their investigation reveals, and then we'll take our next steps forward from there.
Is there a campaign against government officials? A new attack raises the stakes. January 5th, a lone gunman opens fire on Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. The situation is critical. The State of the Union just days away. A congresswoman on life support and a wave of mail bombs.
Hey, boss. Right now, the package is inside mail facility. It got stopped in the X-ray machine. They saw what they thought were wires and something like a bowl-like device.
Masking tape and oily stains cover the box. Red flags to the eyes of a trained agent. The FBI and local law enforcement scramble to collect intelligence. Meanwhile, the bomb squad assesses the threat level.
One of our bomb checks just emailed that the package is clear. So I don't have the specific details of why, but the bomb techs have evidently gone in, checked the package, determined there's nothing hazardous in it.
The FBI must still investigate.
On this table here, all this stuff inside is what was seen through X-ray and what was crammed into this box.
The agent's job? Inspect the contents of the box for death threats or contraband. Inside are household items that look far more sinister on X-ray.
As you can see, crayons look like cylinders that were described as possible little CO2 containers like you may have in an air pistol, like a BB gun or something like that. We have a back massager there that's an electrical device that has batteries and wires, and it looked bad even on an X-ray.
Even a false alarm presents an opportunity. Who is the threat? What are their capabilities? How might they attack?
Randy, I know you're right up the street watching my every move.
There's a rule in the FBI. Every tip that comes in is run down. No matter how crazy it is, we have to run that down, and agents spend time going through that. Because we're looking for needles in haystacks, and we're going to find them if we run every threat to ground.
1 week before the president's annual address to the nation, the FBI counter-terror team ramps up for every kind of threat. Special agents Combs and Hathaway are about to finalize their State of the Union game plan.
I just got an alert for a suspicious package, New Jersey Avenue Northwest.
En route to the Capitol, Hathaway calls in a rapid response team to investigate the latest in the string of threats.
Hey, partner. With the FBI. All right, thanks. Hey, Chris. Edmonds is on scene, no threat. Possibly formaldehyde for a right to life demonstration. We gotta hustle.
Combs and Hathaway link up with Capitol Police to finalize a tactical ops plan.
We're about a week out from the State of the Union right now, and we know all the assets and everything that are brought to bear in the Capitol make it a very secure area, but it's all those logistical and resource concerns of getting all those things aligned, all these plans coordinated and put together into that package. Makes for a very stressful time.
My fear is that we'll all be in the hospital by Tuesday morning. There'll be nobody left to work. I mean, it's tough, and I think that's almost natural. There's this huge buildup, and everybody's working so hard. It doesn't really give you the time to get sick. But there's only so long you can do that.
The counter-terror task force can't let up. The State of the Union is now just days away. Dawn, Washington, D.C. The State of the Union address is 15 hours away. An army of agents and officers are converging on the U.S. Capitol.
We will have teams ready to go in the city hours and hours before the actual State of the Union to make sure that we're ready to go. And then we'll stay hours after to make sure that there's something planned for afterwards.
The FBI Washington field office mobilizes assets from across the country. Concentric rings of security encase the hill. Deep inside the field office, dozens of agencies, CIA, U.S. Marshals, Secret Service, launch their plans for the State of the Union. The FBI's War Room, the Command and Tactical Operations Center, CTOC. The people in this room bear a heavy responsibility. Keeping the federal government safe.
Today, Tuesday, January 25th, at approximately 9 o'clock, the President will give the State of the Union address. Virtually the entire leadership of the United States government is all in the same room in one building, and it's globally broadcast. So obviously there's a considerable, robust security blanket over the top of it.
Noon. Roving counter-terror teams deploy across the metro area. Special Agent Aiden Garcia is the on-site commander. His job, investigate every threat. The job reaches far beyond the Capitol perimeter.
Just because the State of the Union is going on doesn't make the rest of the area any different of a target. If something was to happen in Virginia or somewhere else in the city, we'd still have to deal with that issue.
A dragnet blankets D.C. and Northern Virginia. All across the region, FBI computers will track every move.
What we're doing now is setting up our tracking system to be distributed out to our investigative teams that are going to be working during the State of the Union. They're basically a little battery-powered tracking device. They can throw them in a backpack in the car that they're in, so we can see where all of our teams are throughout the city. And if something happens or if they call something in, we can see where they are.
It's a very important night for us, but it's an important night for the world, really, because you're in a national special event like this. When all eyes will turn to the Capitol, it becomes a focal point for a possible terrorist attack.
6 p.m., 3 hours before the president's speech, The Capitol is on lockdown. No one enters without a police escort. The FBI's mission enters final countdown.
What we're worried about is the rest of the city. That's what we're worried about, to be quite honest with you. So keep your heads about you, and we'll see you at the end of the night.
No matter what's happening in the world, our posture is the same here. We're on alert, we're ready to respond or investigate anything that happens, and we'll watch all of our pieces that are out there, and we'll move our teams as the threat happens. If an event was to actually occur, DJ and I would push forward to assume on-scene command.
As the first VIPs arrive on the Hill,
including POTUS, so we might want to wait just a few minutes till they get zipped out, which is invited.
FBI Assistant Director James McJunkin reviews the threat plan.
Tell Crab, we're going to use the radio.
We've surged all of the manpower resources, and we make sure all of those assets are on deck, suited up, everything's geared up and ready to go, so that if we have an event, we can react quickly and efficiently.
8 floors below the Sea-Talk, the FBI's elite SWAT team lock and load.
All right, the next hard time, 1830, will be out on 4th Street at 1830, getting ready to roll out. Anything else? All right.
Masters of urban warfare, equipped with the Bureau's most lethal assets. If there's a terror attack, the assault team will lead the charge to shut it down. To fortify the president's motorcade, the SWAT team deploys a 13-ton, mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle, an MRAP.
This is our MRAP. It's an armored vehicle that we use. You can see we've got one man up out of the turret right now. We have the capability, if we need to have guys inside behind the armor. You can see these gun ports here where they can stick their weapon out of the gun port there and fire if they need to.
Designed to withstand landmines, shrug off AK-47 fire, and rocket attacks.
In an active shooter situation, armor is probably the biggest friend that you have. So you can actually drive right up to, while somebody's shooting at you, drive right up to the location and either rescue people or officers or other agents that may be injured. You can put that vehicle right in the line of fire.
The Hill is covered. Then, a bomb threat. The task force goes to work.
Metro Police had a subject that tried leaving a bag behind on a train and took off.
30 minutes before the president's speech, the FBI faces a bomb scare on the subway.
Stand by for that. Stand by to hear from him. All right?
The nation's capital is on lockdown, awaiting the president's annual State of the Union address. 30 minutes before the president's speech, the FBI command center goes to red alert.
800 command post, man. I copy you loud and clear. How do you copy me?
Can you confirm for me again that this guy is speaking German and not Russian?
Beneath the streets, a man has been spotted dumping a package on the subway. Agent Hathaway deploys a task force of FBI, police, and transit cops.
At the metro station, had a subject that was supposedly Russian speaking that tried leaving a bag behind on a train and took off.
All right, thanks, Dave. I'll get you back in a minute.
At the White House, the presidential motorcade goes on standby.
Josh, hey, do you see any connection to your guys based on that? Okay.
A Metro K-9 unit and bomb squad are sent in to sweep the scene. The FBI SWAT team deploys as backup.
Could be any variety of things that we could respond to. An active shooter situation, hostage situation, to an officer needing assistance out in town.
Terror in the subway tonight would be a nightmare scenario. The streets are waiting for the president's motorcade to roll. 0 hour is almost here. From the CTOC, Hathaway tracks the situation in the metro. Assistant Director James McJunkin calls for an update.
A suspicious individual was there. Metro stopped him, spoke predominantly Russian. When they interacted with him, his story really wasn't jiving. Was seen leaving a case or a bag on a train. They couldn't quite figure out what he was up to. They ended up grabbing him. Turned out there was nothing in the bag. He had a history of some mental illness issues, so we were able to determine that there was no nefarious activity. Now they're just going to be waiting for POTUS to arrive.
So we're about 20 minutes or so away from movement.
Miles from the Capitol, officers in the subway report the all clear. The State of the Union is a go. The Congress, the Supreme Court, the Cabinet, and the Joint Chiefs wait for one man.
Good departure.
The Secret Service gives the signal. The President is on the move. FBI weapons teams seal the perimeter. The President is now a moving target. A catastrophic attack on the Capitol tonight could decapitate the entire U.S. government. To safeguard federal authority, one cabinet officer waits in a remote secret site just in case.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States. Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, distinguished guests, fellow Americans. Tonight I want to begin by congratulating the men and women of the 112th Congress.
Outside the Capitol building, agents patrol a frozen city. Nobody moves without permission.
You've got everybody who's anybody in that building over there. And, if something happens there, then something really bad is happening to our government.
I'm not sure how we'll reach that better place beyond the horizon. I know we'll get there. I know we will.
Alright, so just
So probably another
how much?
70 minutes.
Alright, so if we get the say things.
Yeah, sure.
3 or 4 minutes, we're about right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
Our destiny remains untrue. Tonight, more than 2 centuries later, it's because of our people that our future is hopeful, our journey goes forward, and the state of our union is strong. Thank you. God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.
The President's State of the Union address is over. But the FBI's work is not yet finished.
When he walks into his own house, then I can relax. Out in the open, moving, we're still looking at what else might be headed that direction, or might be, like the metro stations earlier and things like that. So you don't really kind of exhale until everybody's home safe.
POTUS is back in the house. Thank you for that information. So that's secure. There are a couple motorcades, including the Vice President, still moving, and we're kind of just waiting for that to pull the plug.
Guys, thanks for showing up and for being out here all day and all night as well. It's great to have a plan come together without an incident. Thank you very much for your dedication, for your time, and we'll do it again next year. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go home.
now we got through this, every day here in the city is a high threat as far as we're concerned. So all